If you played video games over the last 10 years, your experience was most likely something like this.
Oh my god!
Emerald! We're rich! We're rich! Diamond!
Oh my god!
Out of my way, son! Door stuck! Door stuck! Please! I beg you!
Let's go back to the year 2013. A new highly anticipated game has been launched. A game where all you have to do is buy the copy, take it home, play it until it is finished, or you could go explore however you would like for completely free. This game is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather.
There is very little competitive aspect in this game, and yet Grand Theft Auto 5 still sold a whopping 11 million copies on its very first day. Now, to put this into perspective, let's jump forward 10 years to the year 2023. One of the most highly anticipated games to come out is Hogwarts Legacy, and this game took 2 weeks to reach the 11 million copies that Grand Theft Auto 5 sold in just one day. Now, in the year 2022, one of the highest selling games was Elden Ring, and that game only sold 2 million copies on its first day. There's a pretty obvious trend going on here that video games are selling less and less each time they come out. If you ask a lot of people, they will tell you that they think that video games have been steadily declining. But what if I told you that it was our fault that this is taking place?
Sing, 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 sing!
A lot of different things probably come to mind whenever I say competitive aspect. You could be thinking about esports, you could be thinking about tournaments, or it could just be a normal game that you're facing other players. Competitive aspect is not necessarily a bad thing on its own whenever it comes to video games. The real issues start whenever game developers start catering more to the competitive aspect side instead of catering towards the casual players who the game was built upon. A big example of this is none other than Fortnite Battle Royale. When Fortnite was first released, it was a breath of fresh air. A cartoon battle royale with a unique art style that none have ever seen before. When Fortnite first came out, there was no competitive tournaments that were worth big sums of money. Fast forward a few years, now if you go on Fortnite, there's a whole dedicated page for tournaments. And if you go online to Fortnite's YouTube channel, all you'll see is videos of tournaments. Epic Games isn't the only company who had a hard time catering to casual players and competitive players. Now you're probably thinking that this guy's an idiot because Fortnite does have separate modes for ranked and unranked. While this is true, this is where the aspect of us ruining gaming comes into play. We made competitive gaming what it is today by seeing videos of other people winning large sums of money and saying that we want to do the same. Obviously, this is unavoidable and this is bound to happen in anything. But with social media everywhere, people are seeing other people winning these large sums of money, and so they get on these games and they grind and they grind and grind and they play until they feel like they're the best. And when you have every single person doing this, the game's going to get too competitive and it's going to completely kill all of the casual players. Unfortunately, these game developers do not realize that these games were built off of the casual player base. When this happens to a game, it will just keep getting worse and worse and worse until eventually it is just completely unplayable for casual players, killing any chance for new players to come in. That's just one of my reasons that we ruined gaming. Whenever you match this with the next thing, it gets even worse. I want you to think of any game that came out in the last 3 years, and I want you to think if this game had microtransactions. This answer is going to be a yes. Everything I can tell you about microtransactions, you already know. Everybody knows how outrageous it has gotten over the past few years. To the normal person, whenever they click on a video game and they get shoved with 15 things that they can buy straight into their face, they're going to be unappealed. And the big issue is, people sit here and they continue to buy and buy and buy and buy. Let's use a fan favorite example here, Madden. Everyone knows the story about Ultimate Team, all the microtransactions, how the game doesn't cater to anyone else besides the Ultimate Team community anymore. And everyone knows it's just because Ultimate Team makes them the most money. Now here's the thing, why don't people stop buying this stuff? That's a great question. Microtransactions are another one of those things that are kind of unavoidable, but you can slow it down by stopping buying it. A game company will not continue what they're doing if nobody is buying their products. They would lose so much money. But unfortunately, EA Sports knows this will never happen. There's always going to be people who are going to spend a lot of money on Ultimate Team. This goes for every single game out there with microtransactions. There's always going to be people who are going to spend money on it. So this is unfortunately a problem that we cannot fix anymore. I didn't want to go into too much on microtransactions because every single video out there talks about how bad microtransactions are. But it is not something you can ignore when talking about a subject like this. This is a really big issue that I feel like is not talked about near enough. This is one that can be completely avoided and completely fixed in a matter of seconds. Whenever you are working on something that takes time, the last thing you want is for it to be rushed. Especially if this is a game that everyone has been waiting on for a really long time. You are going to want this game to be good and worth the wait. Now, when you have people complaining constantly and constantly trying to rush the developers of a game, it doesn't matter how long it's going to take. If it's not finished and they rush it, it's going to be awful. And these same people are going to be the ones complaining about it. I'll use multiple examples here. One, Cyberpunk, which everyone knows about that one. My second one is Battlefield 2042. Cyberpunk was a game that was worked on for around 8 years, and towards the end of the development period, people were getting restless. They were demanding that the game would stop getting delayed and hurry up and be brought out. So of course the developers released the game, as everyone was complaining, but the only thing was, the game was not fully finished, and there was so many bugs whenever it dropped, and those same people who were telling them to drop the game were complaining about how bad the game was off release. Battlefield 2042 was one that was really hyped up, and then they kept delaying it, and then people started getting angry, and they demanded that they would release the game, and then when the game finally released, that game was awful. It died so fast, that game was not good at all, and everyone was complaining about how it wasn't fully finished, but they were the ones demanding for it to be released earlier. Rushing the developers is just such an easy fix. All we need to do is be patient and trust the developers. A big one right now is GTA 6. People keep begging that it gets released early, but if they do not let Rockstar finish this game fully to how they want it, it's going to come out and so many people are going to be disappointed. You just have to have faith that it's going to be a good game and stop going on social media and complaining every time it gets delayed. Obviously, it's not fully our fault, as the game developers can wait, but we do play a big role in how these games have changed over time in a bad way. The biggest question, is gaming even dying? The short answer is no. It's not even close to dying. There's not even really a big decline when you look at players on the game. This is all just a mental aspect and complaints that have grown very heavily over the last 3 years. The best way to look at it is that the old era of gaming, before microtransactions and esports, all that is dead. Right now we are in a new era of gaming that is worse. Gaming is one of those things that can never really fully die because it's such a big aspect on today's world. No matter how many people quit gaming, there's always going to be new people coming in at a faster pace than there are people quitting. It's very sad to see how these games are getting progressively worse in front of our eyes, but at the same time we have to keep in mind that we cause some of these issues, and as humans always change and evolve, so will these video games. It will always keep getting different and different, and it's not going to stay the same forever. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. This was something new to me. I've never done any videos like this. I had a lot of fun with it. I hope it turned out well. I did not leave for a year, so I'm being more consistent now. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be back soon.
Uniforms, because these are some of my favorite uniforms of all time. I do have to edit the Chargers